David Baye here from MuscularDevelopment.com. I am here with Peter McGough and your second place finisher at the 2014 Orlando Europa Super Show, Jon De La Rosa. Jon, obviously coming off stage, I could see a little bit of disappointment in your eyes, which is understandable. We all trained for first place. We just talked before these cameras got rolling, and as Peter and I were saying, you walk away with a second place trophy, but it's the best you've ever looked, and that is, I mean, that's not even a discussion. That's unanimous. Myself, Peter, everybody we've talked to, everybody on the forums, blown away in the changes you've made in a year. You know, talk to us a little bit how you feel, because you know, as a competitor, you know, we've all been there where it's like, well, you're always competing against the last version of yourself, but you always want a first place trophy. How you feeling, man?
I feel good. With the changes I've made to myself, I put in a long, hard year of work. You know, I pride myself on owning my business, working, you know, 70, 80 hours a week, and still going to the gym and doing what I love to do. So with that said, I mean, there were countless days where I was up 15, 17 hours, you know, getting 6 hours of sleep, prepping my food, running my business, and still getting to the gym and doing what I had to do. So you'd hope that with all those sacrifices you're making, it adds up to a win. So that's why I feel a little like, oh man, I just missed it, and it being so close. If it had been a clear-cut win for Justin or myself, it's different, but it was close. So, you know, just to know that I was just there, but I missed it by a little bit was, you know.
Now, Peter, one of the things that we see in bodybuilding, and we've seen it for a long time over the years, is you get some guys who essentially max out their genetic potential to turn pro. When this guy wins, so-and-so wins their pro card at the National, the USA's, that's the best we see him. It took everything it got to get there, or everything they have to get there, and totally respectable. Jon's one of these guys who's turned pro, and even since he started at a national level, winning junior nationals, has made gains just by leaps and bounds. And, you know, we saw a really good version of Jon at the New York Pro last year. Surprisingly, just that much better this year. Talk to us a little bit about what you saw in Jon this weekend and the changes that he's been able to make over the course of a year.
Well, having watched his development, he's got great shape. You know, he's got all the body parts there, and he's got the tight waist. I mean, if you'd have told me last year you were going to put 20 pounds on, I would have thought, yeah, watch that waistline, and everything's going to be thrown out of whack. It wasn't. It was so impressive the way you looked. I mean, you looked tremendous, and you know, you two guys, you and Justin, are top 10 Olympians as far as I'm concerned. What I want to know is, when did you make the decision to come into this show? Because originally it was going to be Brazil, and now do you think you should have maybe waited a bit? Do you regret that decision at all?
I don't regret the decision. The decision was actually made on Sunday. I sent the pictures to my coach Chris Aceto on Saturday. He was like, we should have done Orlando. You know, is there any way we can get in? So, you know, we spoke to Ed and Betty, we spoke to Steve Weinberger. They were able to get me in. And, you know, like, it's a last-minute decision. So with that said, I mean, you can't really complain coming here and placing second, right? And it was kind of a warm-up for Chris and I. It's our first year working together, so he kind of wanted to see how we would peak for Brazil and all that stuff. And it worked out great, you know. Again, a little disappointed. You come here all this way, you spend money, and hoping to win, and you come a little short.
You got a nice check, though.
Yeah, it's not too bad. So
now, I think, you know, from a spectator standpoint, looking at you on stage, and I think Peter will probably agree with me, everybody knew that you were shooting for the Arnold Brazil, but had that not been common knowledge and you just showed up the way you were looking, people would have been like, wow, he's in phenomenal shape. Yeah, everything was lean, midsection was tight, glutes and hamstrings.
Yeah.
That's so weird to look another man in the eye and talk to him about his glutes. But they were. I mean, everything was really dialed in, so you didn't look like a bodybuilder who was 2 weeks out. There were a lot of guys on stage tonight that we saw who looked 5, 6, 8 weeks out, and those are guys who aren't getting ready for other shows. So it says a lot about the conditioning that you had along the way to Brazil, looking this good before your peak. Now, as far as anything different that you're going to do between now and the next 2 weeks, or kind of just stay with the game plan, I would assume, considering...
Yeah, I think Chris and I decided tonight we're going to stay with the game plan. We're going to go out, have a meal tonight, maybe some breakfast tomorrow, and just get right back on it and continue to improve. I think we both felt I could have came out last night the way I did tonight. You know, I missed a few steak meals. We switched to chicken, and, you know, who knows, but I think that may have ended up hurting me. It didn't keep me as tight, I want to say. But again, it's all trial and error. You know, I feel like I came back tonight better. We changed some things going in from last night to tonight. So we're going to do that for Brazil and see what happens.
Well, and again, this is your first year working with Chris, right?
Yeah, this is the first time working with Chris. So essentially, that was the reason why we came into Orlando. We felt that it would be a good opportunity for us to place well in this lineup, and it would be a good opportunity for us to practice, you know, peaking for Brazil.
Peter, any in your vast knowledge, any pointers or anything that you think Jon might be able to work on or just improve on, a stage presence or anything like that between now and Brazil?
I think Jon knows what he's doing, and he's working with Chris Aceto, who's a very good guy. I just want you to know, I've sensed a disappointment in you. You look terrific. You came up against a guy who's going to be a future star like you are. Both of you. You're going to beat him one day. That's going to happen. You know, it could have gone either way. So please don't get downhearted about this. You know, go to Brazil, come back with that first place trophy, and get into that Olympia lineup, because that's where you belong.
I will work for it, I promise.
Yeah, I'm just thinking to myself, I saw him walk off stage, I'm like, that is the best looking, and well, you know, I mean, you know, stage. That is the best.
Talking about his glutes, and now he's good looking.
That is.
I'm leaving. I'll leave you two. I'll get you a room.
No, I'm just saying that is the best looking, saddest guy that I mean, you know, and I can't overstate it, and you know how big all the fans, all the guys on Muscular Development, how big of fans they are of you. So I think you'll be pretty happy to go read some of the positive feedback that you're getting on the boards. I know a lot of times when you're getting close to shows, kind of staying away from the drama of the internet sometimes is best. But I think you know, if you do take a second to go check out the play-by-play, some definite encouragement from the members on the forum, and I think I know. I can't say it enough. Peter and myself both think you look fantastic. You're gonna get the same sentiments from everybody there, and for everybody at MuscularDevelopment.com and myself and Peter, best of luck in Brazil. We're gonna let you go meet up with Chris so you can get out and get that dinner. Yeah. So again, congratulations. I know you wanted that first spot, but congratulations. Not only on a second place finish, tied with your highest finish, but a great showing for you.
And so, thank you everybody on MD that supports me and shows me love, and MD, MHP, you know, you guys have been great. I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, well, we're going to wrap things up here. So for MuscularDevelopment.com, this is David Baye, the one and only Peter McGough, and Jon De La Rosa at the 2014 Orlando Europa Super Show.